Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Dawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at our lineup on what we're discussing, and then we'll continue things in detail. First of all, the Asia Cup 2023 continues, and it's been an action-packed Asia Cup so far. We've really enjoyed thoroughly the games that have been played. Pakistan in the latest game have beaten Bangladesh by 7 wickets. This was the first match of the Super 4 stage and the last match of the Pakistan leg. Now the teams have moved to Colombo, where the Super 4 stage will once again resume from the 9th, that is the Saturday. I'll give you the details in a bit as well about that. But Pakistan were absolutely clinical. Shakib Al Hasan, the captain for Bangladesh, won the toss and opted to bat first. Batting first, they were all out on 193 runs. Kurt, worried about? But we talk about the schedule in detail now. As I said, that on the 9th, play resumes for the Super 4 with Bangladesh. The world of cricket and sports particularly, which we discuss in detail, and it had to be King Babar because an individual is an individual performer. So he's broken that record. We'll talk about that as well in detail. Then of course we move on from Babar Azam and Pakistan cricket to some more news for you, and that is that the World Cup squads have been announced for various teams. Australia have announced their squad. It's going to be led by Pat Cummins. Some interesting names in that squad as well. So we'll talk about that squad. And like I said, 3 to 4 teams have announced their squads in detail, including the Netherlands, including South Africa, who have also announced their squad, including India, the home side, also announcing their squad as well. So we'll discuss all about that in detail. Then of course, in the later half of the show, we will be discussing critical cricket that is taking place, and that why I say critical, because it's a defining moment. Pakistan women's team had beaten South Africa women's team 3-0, where they completed a whitewash in the T20 series. But now a 3-match ODI series takes place. The first ODI will take place tomorrow at Karachi. It's a 3-match ODI series, so another opportunity to win the game, probably the series, do another clean sweep and get some notable performances. Just recently, Shawal Zulfikar has been added to the ODI squad. She was not there before, so she's been a new inclusion in this ODI squad for the South Africa series at home. So we'll discuss all about this in detail. Time now to introduce the guests. First of all, in studios, we've been joined by cricket commentator, expert, broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert here at Sports Extra as well, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm good, thank you.
We've also been joined by cricket commentator and cricket expert as well, Kashif Shabir. Assalamu alaikum, how are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah, all well, thank you very much.
Great to have you on the show. Now, if you want to know about the game, and if you did not get a chance to witness it, and if you missed out, then we've got this report that will highlight the entire game into perspective. Let's take a look at this report and then come back. Well, there you have it, all the game in perspective and in detail, courtesy of that report by Fiza that tells us what happened in the match. Asif, your analysis of the game.
First of all, congratulations to Pakistan. It was a very good victory and comprehensive victory. And credit goes to fast bowlers, the way they bowled, especially Haris Rauf. Naseem Shah was very, very good with his liner length and his seam position, if you could have observed. He was bowling so nicely in the good length area and then tried to nib in and nib out. That was the perfect technique for a fast bowler, especially like Naseem Shah. Then, you know, in the middle, we have seen that the spinners, they were struggling. Shakib Al Hasan, the skipper, and Mushfiqur Rahim, they played well, but Bangladesh is definitely missing Shantu. It was a massive blow for Bangladesh because he was in a very, very good touch. His performance is so well for Bangladesh. But you know that when a main player and a player who is performing, if he's not in the side, you should give chances to some other players like Muhammadullah is sitting there. I don't know what's going wrong with the Bangladeshi think tank, why they're not showing trust over Muhammadullah, because he's a very good player, technically sound. He can improvise, especially in the death overs. If you see his strike rate in ODI, it's 110 in the death over. So he's a very good prospect, and I think that Bangladesh is missing that trick. And who is the responsible? Of course, that the Shakib Al Hasan will reply on that. In the later half, in the second innings, once again, some disappointment from the Fakhr Zaman. And once again, I'm not happy with this decision that you're not giving chances to the youngsters like Abdullah Shafiq and Saud Shakil. They're sitting on the bench, they're not getting chance. All right, fair enough. If you cannot give chance to those youngsters, then please, there is no need to take them with yourself. And they're just sitting on the bench and not taking the chance. Even the sides like Nepal and Bangladesh. So I think Fakhr Zaman is still struggling. The only reason is that his technique. Once again, last night, it was a very good delivery, though you can manage with the straight bat. If you cannot manage these kind of deliveries, how you will play in Australia and England? Because you know that the seam in the overcast conditions in Australia, in England, it would be really difficult for the batters like Fakhar Zaman to play with this technique. So I think overall, well played by Imamul Haq and Rizwan. He was once again, he's gaining momentum. He has played his typical shots on the onside. He's very good with that, although it's a cross shot and people like me, we don't like, but even he's managing well. So it was overall a very good show from Pakistan, and good luck against India.
Absolutely. I think on Sunday it's going to be a real test, courtesy that the weather permits. But Kashif, your overall analysis of the game, putting into perspective that we were bowling first on a track that was perfect for batting, and they were able to get the opposition out.
I think it was a very good match, and this is exactly what was expected from Pakistan. Pakistan should have beaten Bangladesh the way they did, because we are a superior bowling side, and this is acceptable all around the globe. But my major concern is again the same, that we are not, so much focused on our spin attack. We are not very much confident about our spin attack. Again, the focus has been on the pacers. The pacers, they have taken around 8 wickets, and 2 wickets were taken by the spinners, Iftikhar, and one other wicket by another bowler. So I think that is the major concern for Pakistan. But the good point out of the yesterday's match was that at last we tried Iftikhar, and Iftikhar bowled pretty well. Before the big match against India and Sri Lanka, at least we have another option of deploying Iftikhar instead of Mohammad Nawaz. So that is one plus point for Pakistan. And talking about Bangladesh, I think the pick of the bowlers for Bangladesh was Shariful Islam. He bowled pretty well. The ball was swinging both ways between the wicket, and he was giving that tough time to our batsmen. I think that was a very encouraging sign for Bangladesh. And Taskeen also bowled pretty well. I don't know how the ball was swinging at that time in Gaddafi Stadium, because this is not what we have seen in Gaddafi Stadium in the past. So that was a new thing for me, at least. So I think that is a plus point for Bangladesh. But again, the inexperienced side of Bangladesh is what is lacking in Bangladesh. They don't have a proper domestic structure. That is the reason why the pool of cricketers are not developing in Bangladesh. We have not seen a big name in Bangladesh. They got their recognition in 1991, and it has been around 24 years. And we have not seen a superstar emerging from the Bangladeshi side. I think that is what is the disappointment in Bangladesh.
Interesting point that Kashif has made. Asif, we need to really digress upon this factor that for Bangladesh, the last glue in their team probably was Mashrafe Murtaza. He was leading the pace attack as well, keeping the team together as a skipper. But after that, nothing has really happened. It has all collapsed. They're probably still looking for someone to lead that pace attack. Somebody, Shakib, although he's a fantastic player, he's popular all around the world for his all-round performance. But as a leader, you won't see him, as an example of someone who would probably bring in new players, scout talent, and work for the future. You don't see those qualities in him probably. Then he's had his issues of own with aggression, with discipline issues. Bangladesh Cricket Board is another subject. Then just the small case of Tamim Iqbal is just a small example. So all of these problems combined, really hurt the cause of an international cricket team to make their way into the world of cricket at a time when new nations are emerging and they are very, very talented.
Well, I think that I'll put this blame to Bangladesh Premier League, one. Secondly, that if you know that Mohammad Ashraful, he was a fantastic player, but he remained in the match fixing. The match fixing is a big cause that it is affecting the Bangladesh cricket as well. Even the big name like Ashraful, and then in a press conference, he has admitted that he has done this thing, and he apologized to the nation. Then even Shakibul Hasan, he remained, and that he was banned for the 6 months from the Bangladesh Cricket Board. So I think these are the major reasons. And then the players like Tamim Iqbal, the match winners, if they are just taking retirement just before the ODI World Cup, then you should understand that everything is not fine. And I said that the domestic structure, Kashif Bhai was saying that, Kashif bhai, I think that their domestic structure is very, very good. If you go through, sometimes most of the players from the Pakistan and the other countries, they used to go there and they used to play domestic matches as the Pakistani players they used to play in Sri Lanka or in England as well, because they are paying highly to their domestic cricketer as well. The only thing is that the T20 format, and then when you are arranging or organizing these kind of leagues, and then you find these kind of characters like Ashraful and Shakib were the big name for the Bangladesh. So I think this is also a main and big reason.
Uh, they can improve probably. They still have a youth structure. There is still time to invest. But like I said, Kashif, the timing is such where you're seeing Nepal, the Netherlands, Scotland is a fantastic side. Afghanistan have already made their way towards test status. So if things continue like this, it's going to be very, very tough for a test nation to survive in a competitive world.
Exactly. This is why I said that it has been around 24 years and we did not see any superstar emerging from the Bangladesh side. That is a big dilemma for them. Asif mentioned about their domestic structure, and he said that their domestic system is very good. If the domestic system is good, then unfortunately they don't have the talent in Bangladesh. That is the reason why no one is emerging from the Bangladeshi side. I think the next option for the Bangladeshi squad may be that they should play more in the county cricket. They should travel more to Australia, to New Zealand, to those countries, and see what is the way forward, how they can improve their structure. I mean, beating different countries like good talent from Bangladesh. You need to improve the pool. I think for me, the main focus should be on the pool. If you have a bigger pool, only then you can have good talented player coming out of it. Now we have 3 different kind of formats, one day, T20 and test squad. Every format should have a different team. That is how you improve the quality of the structure. Secondly, you need to go out of your country, you go to different countries, play different leagues, and then see what is your standing, where do you stand.
Absolutely. Asif, you'd like to add to that argument, because obviously the way ahead seems to be the question over here for Bangladesh.
No, I'll ask a couple of questions to Kashif bhai.
Right.
Kashif bhai, how do you see the role of Bangladesh Premier League, and as I said that the match fixing issues, how it has affected the Bangladesh cricket? I wanted to hear something from you.
As far as match fixing is concerned, I think that is a big curse. If this is the situation in Bangladesh, then obviously all those players who are involved in match fixing, they should not be given the second chance. This is my fixed stance. I also say that if there are match fixers in team like Pakistan, they should not be given the second chance, because you are promoting your own country, you are ambassador of your country, and if this is what your criteria, if this is how you're taking the sport, then I'm sorry, this is not acceptable at all. Secondly, about Bangladesh Premier League, it has not given any big star. My main concern is that if you have a different league, if you have a league in your country, the main focus or the main emphasis of that league is to find new talent. Talent hunt is the main reason for having these kind of leagues. Talk about Lahore Qalandar. Lahore Qalandar is the best example of finding new talent, not only for themselves, for the franchise, but also for the country. And this is exactly what they have done. What about Fakhr Zaman, Haris Rauf, Ehsanullah, all these new talented players, they are because of Lahore Qalandar. So this is what is the primary objective of these leagues. If Bangladesh Premier League is not focusing on the talent hunt, and if they are not providing new talented players for Bangladesh, then I think Bangladesh Premier League is a big flop.
Well, that's an interesting comment, because if you look at the concept of leagues around the world, it's not just for commercialization, but also for the prospect of giving youngsters a platform. A lot of these leagues have really helped certain nations around that way. But over here, Asif, if we just go a bit back, we remember the inaugural editions of the BPL, very hyped up. A lot of Pakistani players were joining there as well, and the level of competition was pretty good. But then over the years, it really seems to have faded from the limelight.
Well, that's why that if you see the ranking of Bangladesh Premier League, you cannot find out even in first 5. That's why Pakistan Super League, IPL, then Big Bash, even the South African League, they're going really nicely.
Even the Lankan Premier League.
Even the Lanka Premier League, that's right. So because I personally know something which I cannot tell over the TV, that what's going on in Bangladesh Premier League, Bangladesh Cricket Board, they're pretty much concerned with the things which are going on in the BPL.
Well, you should tell us. It's injustice. You make me say everything. When it comes to you, you're not telling us now.
All right, well left. Have you heard that? Okay, so you know that
We'll
when
give this recording to the Bangladesh
Bangladesh
management.
Cricket Board. Yeah.
Yeah.
go
all
on.
right, I mean, this is your right. You can do it. So apart from this, I must say that the domestic structure of Bangladesh Cricket Board is really good. You know that recently Bangladesh under-9, they visited Pakistan. Pakistan under-19 went to Bangladesh and they played with Bangladesh under-19 4-day games or 1 day and then T20 as well. So I think the Pakistan Cricket Board is even working with them. And who knows that what happened and what was the plan? What in the World Cup 1999, Bangladesh had beaten Pakistan, and that was a very, very strong side. Pakistan lost against Bangladesh. Khalid Mahmood was the captain. If you see the side, that was an ordinary side, but even then they have beaten Pakistan. So the Pakistan role to build up the Bangladesh cricket is still there, but I think that Bangladesh Cricket Board is not doing and not fulfilling their responsibility up to the mark.
You know, as a cricket board, it's your primary job to make sure that there is two-way communication with the players. I think that's very important. But when there are grievances, an example can be taken of Tamim Iqbal, who announced his retirement. Then he was called by the Bangladeshi Prime Minister, who then had that decision overturned. Then he got injured, then didn't participate in the Asia Cup. So, you know, things are haywire at the moment for Bangladesh. But now, of course, let's discuss Pakistan as far as the perspective is concerned. If you look at the leading wicket takers so far for the Asia Cup, it's all three Pakistani seamers. At the top it is Haris Rauf, then Naseem Shah, then Shaheen Shah Afridi. Both Shaheen and Naseem have the same number of wickets, but Haris has one more. So, you know, that's interesting. And, you know, with the last spell, as far as Haris's record to 50 wickets is concerned, that is also something to watch out for. But one thing is great to see, Kashif, that he's bowling quick, but at the same time, the line and length has really improved for Haris Rauf.
There are no two opinions about it. Pakistani pace attack, I think the trio is absolutely great. And this is the best trio that we have in the world. And everybody is you know, is afraid of the pace attack that Pakistan has. Now, how to utilize this pace attack? You know, again, I would go back to the rotational policy. I would say that the Pakistan Cricket Board should strictly think about rotation policy. We cannot waste this talent which is available for Pakistan. But you know, all these players, they are playing all the three formats. When you are playing all the three formats, you are fatiguing your body. You are giving that much extra to the body. So you need some rest. So Pakistan board need to think about it, that how they can, you know, prolong the equation of all these three players. This is very, very important for them. Secondly,
Absolutely.
they need to have some alternate for these three pace attacks. Find some new talent. What about Ehsanullah? What about Hasnan? These are the two pacers that can bowl at around 145, 150. So work on them. Boost their talent, boost their energy, so
Abbas
that they can
Afridi
be.
seems to be doing very well on the domestic
Yeah,
front.
so that they can also be part of the Pakistani pace attack, so that instead of three pace attackers, we should have at least 5 pace attackers for us. Because remember, there are 3 formats, and we want to be best in all 3 formats.
Absolutely. Mr. Kundumal, if we discuss Pakistan's perspective over here, Babar Azam seems to be, of course you'll comment on Haris Rauf as well, but Babar Azam seems to be there's no comparison. I don't want to compare. Like I said, I don't believe in comparisons. If somebody asks me to compare him to MSD, I can't do that right now. MSD is a fantastic captain. So, but the fact is that Babar, with each passing day and match, is becoming a very, very strong captain for Pakistan.
Well, that's right. You know that we already criticized on his captaincy a lot during this show as well. But day by day, he's getting really good, mature, taking good decisions. But one thing I'm not happy, and that is why he's not taking strict and harsh stance against Fakhar Zaman. I don't know why. What's the reason behind that? And I do know that you have an inner story, and you will later share with our viewers about Fakhar Zaman Ahmed. But Babar Azam being captain, he's getting now mature. You know that day by day we can see that his performance is getting better, and he's leading from the front, which is really, really good for Pakistan. Even if you ask me that who could be the best captain, best 3 captains in the upcoming World Cup, Babar Azam would be one of them. So the Babar Azam being skipper, being his individual role, I'm so happy with that. Haris Rauf, Hardik Pandya, the way he was playing against Haris Rauf, that was fantastic. Why? Because he was bowling so short pitch deliveries against a batter like Hardik Pandya, and Ishan Kishan is so good with the, with his technique. If you talk about fast bowlers, spinners, he plays so nicely. And Brian Lara has written something really nice, and we'll talk in another show as well. Haris Rauf, you should try to bowl Yorkers in the length in the death overs, because the length ball won't work against the good and quality sides.
batters, yes.
Yeah, so that's the only problem with.
And at that pace, you can have a killer Yorker at that pace.
Yeah, toe crushers like Waqar Yunus, Wasim Akram, even Shoaib Akhtar. They were brilliant, and Shoaib Akhtar was sharing an event on an Indian TV that I met Haris Rauf, and I said one thing, that try to speak with the Virat Kohli during your bowling. Try to give him some some blunt answers while you're bowling against Virat Kohli.
Leave friendships outside that inner circle.
But I think instead of that, Shoaib Akhtar should have told him, bowl proper Yorkers.
Well, I think the best Yorker right now in the modern day world has got to be Mitchell Starc. I don't see a better Yorker with that action.
Mitchell Starc and Jasprit Bumrah.
Jasprit Bumrah, right.
Jasprit Bumrah and Mitchell Starc.
Absolutely.
I
Yes,
have a
Kashif,
few
please.
sentences about Babar Azam
Yes,
and then
please.
Haris Rauf. I think Babar Azam is not, unfortunately, is not a brave captain, one. And secondly, as far as the learning aspect is concerned, yes, he is learning, but he is not a fast learner, unfortunately, because this is the third or fourth year of Babar Azam as a captain. Secondly, I think if you look at the approach of Babar Azam is not proactive; it is reactive. And if you look at the batting side of Pakistan at the moment has only 3 recognized batsmen, the top 3 batsmen, and then we have 5 all-rounders, and then the bowlers. I think the emphasis of Babar Azam should be on the batting side of Pakistan. He should, promote the batters instead of all-rounders. I think that is where the captaincy or the proactive approach of Babar Azam is lacking. He needs to be more brave about it, take more brave decisions, add few batsmen in the batting side and focus on only 1 or 2 all-rounders, and then go for your prominent bowlers, so that you have a proper composition of the team. Say, for example, if we lose wicket of Babar Azam and Imamul Haq initially, then we don't have a recognized batsman. We don't have a batsman who can anchor the inning. That is, I think, a big flaw for Pakistan. Regarding Haris Rauf, I think the most important thing for Haris Rauf is that he should learn the art of swinging the ball. He cannot swing the ball. He is very pacey. He can bowl at around 150, but he cannot swing the ball. So that is a big lacking of Haris Rauf. If this art is not learnt by Haris Rauf, I think his career is not going to be very much prolonged.
Well, I'll leave that argument at that. The fact is that Pakistan now top the Super 4 stage. The next game is against India on Sunday. We hope that the heavens clear up and there is a full game between Pakistan and India at Colombo. That action would be brilliant to see as well. Now, of course, we take your focus to the World Cup squads. Certain teams have announced their squads as well. A few of them have been very thorough in their selection. A few of them are still awaiting to announce their squads. But if you want to know the squads that have been announced and the details, we've got this report by INSA. Let's take a look.
The 15-player preliminary squads for the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023, which will be hosted in India this October, have begun to arrive as the biggest cricket spectacular of the year is now less than 30 days away. The opening match of ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 will be played on 5th October at Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium in Ahmedabad between tournament's 2 winners, England and New Zealand of 2019 Cricket World Cup. All 10 teams must reveal their 15-player rosters by September 28 in accordance with the ICC guidelines. Any replacements made after this date will only be permitted with the ICC board's consent. The 15 players preliminary squads for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 have been announced by the following teams as of September 6. Team India squad for the ICC Cricket World Cup are Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Ravindra Jadeja, Shardul Thakur, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Shami, Axar Akshar Patel, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav. Team Australia squad for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 are Pat Cummins, Steve Smith, Alex Carey, Josh Inglis, Sean Abbott, Ashton Agar, Cameron Green, Josh Hazelwood, Travis Head, Mitch Marsh, Callan Wexell, Galen Maxwell, Marcus Stoinis, David Warner, Adam Zampa, Michael Stark. Team South Africa squad for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 are Temba Bavuma, Gerald Coetzee, Quinton de Kock, Riza Hendrick, Marco Jessen, Hendrik Kalassen, Sisanda Malaga, Kashiv Maharaj, Aidan Markram, David Miller, Enrich Norje, Kagisko Rabada, Tabriz Shamsi, Rassi van der Dusen. Netherlands squads are Scott Edwards, Max O'Dowd, Bess de Lede, Vikram Singh, Teja Nidamanuro, Paul van Macron, Colin Eckermann, Royalof van der Marwe, Logan van Beek, Aryan Dutt, Ryan Killen, Weasley Baresi, Saqib Zulfikar, Shahriz Ahmed, Sabran Engelbrecht. The remaining 5 nations, who are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, still have about 20 days to reveal their 15-player provisional squad.
नाम भी नहीं पता कौन.
Well, there you have it. All you need to know about the squads in detail, courtesy of that report by INSA. But like I said, a couple of teams have announced their squad. We'll try to, as much time as we have, discuss them one by one. The very first one has got to be Australia that I look at, because this looks like a very potent squad. Asif, we've discussed the Australian team over the years. You know, since Pat Cummins has come in as captain across formats, he's tried to, you know, get the guys together. But this team that I see, Pat Cummins, Sean Abbott, Ashton Agar, Alex Carey, Cameron Green, Josh Hazelwood, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Mitch Marsh in that side is the most important candidate for me in this World Cup. Glenn Maxwell, Steve Smith, Mitchell Stark, Marcus Stoinis, David Warner and Adam Zampa. So a very, very balanced, solid, and at the same time, if you look at the squad numbers that they've got as far as stats are concerned, everybody's in form right now.
And it's a very, very strong side over the paper. If you see that the skipper Pat Cummins and then a couple of good batters like David Warner, Stephen Smith, they've included Marcus Stoinis as well. And then you see Cameron Green, Alex Carey, Ashton Agar, each and every player, they're performing so well. The Adam Zampa is a very, very good spinner, and he has performed so well in T20s, in ODIs. So I think his inclusion for the India, because you'll be playing this World Cup in India, I think it's really, really important. The only thing that the only spin department, they don't have that much experience. Rest, if you talk about their batters, talk about their fast bowlers, Mitchell Stark there. Then, this, as I said, the skipper Pat Cummins,
Josh Hazelwood, Marcus Stoinis and Mitchell Stark, an added option that they've got in fast
yeah,
bowling.
so I think that all of them, they are really, really good, and it's a very balanced side, and I can see that the Australia, they should be in Final Fours.
They can be. Oh, well,
Yeah.
the surprising part is that every time you seem to, you know, have a World Cup in the subcontinent, people tend to highlight their top 4 and other teams. But one way or the other, Australia creeps their way into that top 4. So, Kashif, your thoughts on the squad that has been announced?
Australian squad?
Yes.
A great squad, I would say. A very balanced squad, very rightly Asif mentioned. I think their main strength is the batting side. They've got brilliant batters, plus the inclusion of Steve Smith and David Warner. I think this is going to give a special strength to the batting side of
Mitchell Marsh in that middle order.
Mitchell
We're gonna
Marsh
talk about
and
that.
Stoinis. I think Stoinis is going to be the key for Australia. Secondly, their pace attack led by Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark and Josh Hazelwood. A great side. I think they should make for the first 2 in the World Cup.
Well, let's talk about the home team. Rohit Sharma leads the side. Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, Ishan Kishan, KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, Shardul Thakur and Akshar Patel. So similar side that has been announced in the Asia Cup goes to the World Cup for India. Asif, your thoughts?
I see that their skipper Rohit Sharma is not a good touch. If you see that he's struggling against the fast bowlers like Shaheen Shah Afridi. So I think when the skipper is not performing and not performing up to the mark, that the rest of the team, it will become definitely under pressure. Then their star player Virat Kohli, once again a question mark. Either he'll get the same momentum or not, because you know that whenever we talk about
The squad is in front of you right now,
yes,
which Asif is talking
yes,
about.
that's right. And KL Rahul, he's been struggling with this.
Well, I've got
injury.
news for you for KL Rahul.
Yeah.
Sources indicate that KL Rahul will be batting at number 4 in the World Cup for India.
All right, I mean that's why I'm so happy, and I always when you give an inner story, That's really, really, that's really. good
Unlike
for
you,
us.
I tend to not leave many deliveries. I tend to
Yeah,
slap
yeah.
them over the road.
All right, you played T20, I played 4 or 5.
No, no,
cricket.
sir, I'm a proper cricketer. I don't.
All right, you see the fast bowling, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj and Shami. Of course that it's a very balanced side. But the question, either the skipper and the team unity is there or not, it's a big concern.
Yes, Kashif.
I think for India, their weak link is their bowling side. It totally depends on Jasprit Bumrah, how he bowls in the World Cup. That is going to be a big question mark. Secondly, if KL Rahul is not opening the batting of India, I think this is not a very good sign, because Shubman Gill is not a good opener. I think he should bat at number 4, and KL Rahul should stick to his own place of opening as for India, because the combination of Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul has given good results to India in the past. So I think that it should be the better move. Secondly, the all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja and
Hardik Pandya.
Hardik Pandya, very crucial players.
I think these two players, for me, if somebody said, tell me the key players for India
Yes.
in the World Cup, I'd pick these two probably.
Exactly. And secondly, I think for them, for India, the stars are going to be Shubman Gill, Rahul and Ishan Kishan, not Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma anymore, because they are on their terminal decline.
Well, it's
now.
a very last World Cup for many players around the
Yeah.
world, not just India. Asif, there was a question that was, circling around the media. One was why Chahal has not been included. Second, the prospect of not having an off spinner into the side. But if you look at Kuldeep Yadav, his majority dismissals have been against the left-handers and right-handers both. So he's a utility bowler. But the only problem I see with this Indian team is that connection doesn't seem to be there. There are individual performances. Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya did steady the ship against Pakistan, but not every time that is going to happen.
Well, it's an important question. They're the Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja, both of them, they're the left-arm spinner.
And Akshar Patel.
And Akshar
Similarity
Patel.
once again.
Yeah, that's right. Then why not Ashwin? Because Ashwin is plenty of experience there, match winner. He could bat as well. These are all the questions. I think that's the point which I was raising before. That is everything going in the dressing room okay in the India or not? Because if you're not giving opportunities to these players, like fine, Jadeja is a match-winning player. Yes, Kuldeep Yadav is a very good prospect, but even then, this is the World Cup. And it could be the last World Cup for the Ashwin. So I think they're missing in Chahal, very good wrist spinner. You should require these kind of spinners on the Indian tracks. And this is your, you'll be, hosting this World Cup. And Chahal and Ashwin, both of them, they're the really, really effective players. I think India missed them out.
Well, certainly. I think if you look at the numbers game, Chahal, for me, if I was to pick between Kuldeep Yadav, had it been T20, I would have gone with Yadav. But for one-day cricket, 10 overs, I would have gone with Chahal, because the quality of that leg spinner is something you want in a World Cup, especially on those kinds of wickets. So Rohit Sharma might be spoiled for options over here, but he's really got to get the team together. And once again, I think the entire balance of the equation would, if you like it or not, would fall on Virat Kohli, Kashif. The way how he performs is going to define that Indian lineup.
I don't think so, because now they have new talent available with them in the form of Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill. I think these are the two key players for India. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, Pandya and Jadeja, they are going to play a key role for India. India's dependency on Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli is not as much as it was in the last few years. So now it is all about the newcomers, the new talented players. You were talking about Ashwin. Ashwin is a good player. Ashwin is a big name, but currently he has not been performing well. So I think they made their selection on the current performance of all the players, and I think this is the right move. This is what should have been done for the players to be chosen for the World Cup, because World Cup is a big event, and playing in their own country, I think it is very crucial for India, because they have the pressure of their crowd as well.
I don't see them making the top 4, I'll be honest. It's a
Me
very
too.
early call.
On a
I
lighter
don't-
note,
yeah,
can
yes.
I ask a question on a
Of course,
lighter note?
Of course.
If this is the same reason with the Ashwin, I think that let's put in this way that the Rohit Sharma is not performing well from last couple of months.
Unfortunately, Rohit Sharma is the captain. You are talking about his captaincy and their dressing room. I think that is the reason why dressing room
Environment
environment
yes.
is not comfortable, because the captain is not leading from the front.
I think his ascent to a skipper is something that I will never understand in my life. At that moment, changing a captaincy for India was probably one of the most horrific decisions for the world of cricket. And whether people like it or not, we're going to speak on terms that, really make sense. We're not one of those biased people that you see around. So that's what we say. But Kashif and Kyasif, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Before we leave, we've got to discuss the fantastic performance of our girls in green. Now they're up for 3-match one-day international series against the South African women that takes place in Karachi. We've got a report by Palvasha. You can go take a look at that report, but from me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.
The Pakistan Women vs South Africa Women ODIs 2023 will start on tomorrow, September 8 in Karachi, Pakistan. The ODIs are the part of the ICC Women's Championship, which determines qualification for the next World Cup. South Africa are currently ranked 3rd in the ICC Women ODI ranking, while Pakistan are ranked 10th. As far as head-to-head between these teams go, South Africa lead the way with 19 wins from 25 encounters, while Pakistan have emerged triumphant on 4th occasions. Ahead of the series, Pakistan also named their squad. Hani and Wahida Akhtar have been picked in place of Aisha and Kainat Imtiaz. South Africa's captain Laura Woodward will lead the side for the series as Sunil is recently stepped down as skipper. The bulk of the South Africa's T20I squad who played against Pakistan will play in the upcoming ODIs. As per the Pakistan Women vs South Africa Women ODIs 2023 schedule, the two sides will lock horns in 3 one-day international games starting on September 8. The final ODI will be played on September 14. All 3 games of the Pakistan Women vs South Africa Women ODIs 2023 will be hosted at the National Stadium, Karachi.